What's up, guys? David Land here, bringing you another diecast review. This time we are taking a look at an IndyCar hauler. This is the Kmart Havoline, or Texaco Havoline if you prefer, Newman Haas racing hauler from the 1991 season. This is a part of Matchbox's Indy 500 line that ran from about 1991 to 1993. Now, the reason you don't hear a lot about these diecast, even though they were produced in, from what I can tell, very, very large numbers, is that they weren't entirely very accurate. In fact, they used bodies from 80s F1 cars. In fact, I'm pretty sure the car they based their cars on for this line was the 1988 McLaren Honda. So they don't really look like Indy cars. The actual Indy cars are part of this line. But the haulers are pretty cool, even though they're underscaled. As you can see, pretty accurate representation of what the Kmart Havoline Newman Haas team looked like in 1991. And the packaging is also very attractive, as you can see, very bright, very 90s, or maybe late 80s, early 90s look to it. Very beautiful packaging. Let's take a look at the back here real quick, because there's a lot of stuff on there. And we can actually take a closer look at the back here. So you've got some amazing Indy facts. Half a century ago, which is probably more like 75 years in today's terms, the drivers in the Indianapolis 500 had to carry a riding mechanic in the seat next to him, which added more weight and made for slower racing. Technically true, but also the surfaces, tires, and what else also contributed to the slow speeds. But anyway, when a driver completes the full distance in an Indianapolis 500-mile race, he has traveled approximately the same distance as from Los Angeles, California to Reno, Nevada. So if you're interested in that. But here are the cars that are available, at least in the 1991 set. As you can see, from this over here, from left to right, we're going to go, this is Hiro Matsushita, this is John Andretti, this is a generic IndyCar, another generic IndyCar, this is, I believe, Michael Andretti. I think it's Michael, but it might be Mario. Actually, I think it's Mario. Then you've got Eddie Cheever and Bobby Rahal, and then you've got the 92 pace car and a generic IndyCar support vehicle. And then you've got the haulers over here. Got a generic Indy 500 hauler with generic cars. Then you've got the Newman Haas team, which they also made these flatbed haulers, which came with a car. Those seem to be the most valuable. They seem to command the highest prices on eBay, which is really only about $15. Then you've got the Hall VDS team, again, of John Andretti, and the Panasonic team of Hiro Matsushita. You can see the kart logos here. In fact, we can probably get a feeling of when this exactly came out. I'm looking for a year, but I don't have a year. So I'm just going to say this is 91. Probably came out early 92, I would say. And then the caution small parts. Not anything else really on the box. Just a plain and simple box. And then you've got the front of the box, of course, where with the car rubber banded in there, it looks like, or the hauler rubber banded in there. Indy 500. And this car is a 1990 Penske, driven by Emerson Fittipaldi. How do I know that? Well, I'm a huge nerd, and I can do that off the visuals, even though they've edited out the Marlboro scheme. That's still MO in the car, and I recognize what a Penske Indy car looks like. So yeah, Indy 500, very late 80s, early 90s logo, and then Matchbox Team Transports and the officially licensed IMS product. So let's get this thing out of its box and take a look at it. So here's the car out of its box. I need to make a quick correction because I feel like a big dummy if I don't address this. The 76 Indianapolis 500 was the 92 race. So this is promoting the 92 race, so I can say they came out in 92 and all this stuff is based on the 91 race. So just so we've cleared up that confusion, let's take a look at this beautiful hauler. Now obviously it's a bit underscaled, and just for comparison's sake, let's get this car into the frame so you can see how fairly underscaled everything is. Of course, this is a Newman Haas car, so it works. The trailer is about the size of the car, so it'll be interesting to see if we can actually fit a car in there. I'm not terribly confident, but the actual truck, the semi, is die-cast metal, as is the bottom of the trailer, so it actually gives a fairly sturdy feel to everything, which is kind of surprising, all things considered, especially that it's kind of a, you would think Matchbox would be a cheaper kind of plastic or cheaper metal, or they'd cheap out with the metal on the cars, but really they haven't. I think they did a really good job getting this car, or getting the hauler into as decent of shape as they could given the scale restrictions. I think it looks really nice. Obviously it rolls really well because it is a Matchbox, and this was at the time when they weren't owned by Mattel, which also owns Hot Wheels, if you weren't aware. So they were actually actively competing with Hot Wheels, so you know there was competition then, and they had to really try hard. So yeah, the tractor, the tractor trailer, no, that's the full thing. The trailer does separate from the truck. At least I thought it did. Let's see if we can get that thing out. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe once you have it in there, it doesn't want to come out. Okay, so after a quick cut, I need to show this off. Okay, so I got the trailer out. This is actually a pretty cool feature. There's actually a locking mechanism, as you can see. That's unlocked and locked. So you're locked into place there. It's actually kind of like a real truck. So you unlock it and pull it out. I'm sure some people broke their trucks, their IndyCar trucks, doing that. But I think the main thrust of this is just the deco you get on it. Of course, you get Kmart, Havoline. These chevrons here, or kind of half chevrons, I guess you could call them, are reminiscent of the scheme Mario Andretti used in the 1998 IndyCar season. Not very reminiscent of the schemes they actually used in 1991, which is weird, but I guess they didn't want to repaint the trailers from 1988. So whatever. But a very nice looking truck, I would say. I like it quite a bit. Of course, I did buy this, so you know I wanted it. So of course I think it looks good. But Kmart, Havoline. Then you got Energizer, Dirt Devil, Gillette, Corning, Bassif, and AC Delco, and the cool motif with the chevrons there. The back does open up, and I guess we'll do this right now. Let's use Mario here, and see if we can't fit Mario in there. No, you're not fitting that car in there. The Hot Wheels car, maybe? Hot Wheels Newman Haas car. This is Christian fit. Yeah, that's not fitting in there. How about a green light DP01? Is that going to fit in there? No. You could fit some micro machines in there if you got micro machines, but not a lot's going in there. You can also, as you can see, this part is metal, this part is plastic, so the whole base of the thing is metal, but the top here with the stickers on it is plastic. So not a whole lot to go over, but I think it's a really nice looking piece. If you do have a favorite 90s IndyCar team, I think they made Al Unser Jr. and of course the ones on the back of the box. They also made some Scott Brayton stuff, though I don't think they made it for the semis, though they did make a flatbed hauler of Scott Brayton. Just go on eBay, do a search, and see if there's anything you like. These are incredibly cheap, so if you want one, go out and get one. But I just wanted to do a video on it because I think it's a beautiful tractor-trailer combo, and I wanted to show it off. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next video.